Today's show are from the Jackson Area Career Center, Principal Dan Draper and new Assistant Principal Lauren Kaiser. Welcome to the show.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
Yeah, great to have you here, and particularly because we're on the eve of Career and Technical Education Month starting tomorrow.
That's correct. We're excited at the Career Center because this is who we are. So having CT month, the month of February, we'll get things literally kicked off tomorrow morning because we have our 10th grade tours starting tomorrow.
Yeah, and the Career Center, what a great asset in our community, and still the shiniest floors in all of Jackson County.
Well, we definitely try, especially this time of year, right, with all the salt and snow coming in.
So Lauren is fairly new at the Career Center. You're in your 4th or 5th month as assistant principal. Congratulations.
Yes. Thank you.
But you've been an administrator and a teacher. Tell us a little bit about your path to the Career Center.
Sure. So I taught high school English for 16 years, a little bit out of state, and then I was at Michigan Center for 8 years. I was at Western High School for 5 years, and then I spent a little over a year as assistant principal at Hanover Horton High School before finding my way to the Career Center.
Nice. So what was it like, Lauren, being assistant principal at your own high school?
You know, enough years had passed that there weren't that many teachers who were my own teachers, but there were a couple. So it was definitely it was a homecoming of sorts, but it was great. Very tight-knit community, and it was great to be around all of those people that. I still live there, so it was nice to be a part of that community.
And what was the attraction for you to take the Career Center position?
Sure. So I love the Career Center because I love seeing kids doing what they love the most. When I was teaching high school English, kids take English because they have to. Kids go to the Career Center because they want to. And they get to learn something that they don't learn every day in their regular high school classroom. They get to see the results of those lessons, those things that they are hearing from their teacher immediately. So watching kids put their skills into action is absolutely amazing. And watching kids progress from learning what a tool is to making a final product has been just fascinating.
Nice. And Dan, you're a Hanover kid too, aren't you?
I did, yeah. I got my first teaching gig there, so yeah. So
the popularity of the Career Center, I think, has grown quite a bit as kids realize that they could get a job, a pretty nice job, right out of high school by going to the Career Center. Is it harder to get into some of the classes and programs now because of that?
Well, I think that the interest of some of the programs is always there. I'll give you a good example: welding, a traditional program that is packed every year. And I don't know if it's because it's the sparks flying and the whatever, but
I think it's the helmet.
The helmet, it could be, yeah, it could be, but that's a traditional program that's very, very packed. Dental is a program that always has high enrollment. So you have the traditional ones, but we have some other ones up and coming that seem to be very interested in. A couple of years ago, I'd say construction was kind of one of these programs. Where are we going? And now it's a program that's got huge enrollment. So it's exciting because we want to have as many kids as possible out to the Career Center as we can. So really starting tomorrow is how we started off. So we're going to have those 10th graders in and get a chance to showcase 3 different programs in that time frame, and in hopes that they see themselves in that in the future.
And you brought some photos of some things happening at the Career Center. Horticulture.
Yep.
You've got a whole farm, literally a whole farm on the campus.
Yes, the farm to table phrase fits us, all right, because we have the culinary program on the other end, right? So we can get things growing, and then we have the culinary program for kids to make food.
It's amazing that you see a lot of kids who grew up in FFA programs like in Springport or Concord, some of the rural areas, that they get it. They know that this really is a step to the career.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's
You know,
happening here?
So this would be a good example of the skills, as Lauren was talking about. The kids can actually see it before they, instead of just hearing about it. So you have CPR for infant. How often do you get to do that at a local school? I mean, when I was teaching math class, we wouldn't be doing anything like this, right? So
Well,
this
yeah.
is that hands-on component that kids literally get to experience as they develop their skill sets and practice it before, if they ever needed it in real life.
Yeah, and I think after the DeMar Hamlin incident on the field in Cincinnati a few weeks ago, everyone thought, wow, we all need to
Right.
know.
Yeah,
Could happen to anyone.
yeah. Here's our manufacturing technologies program. So you'll notice how nice and bright that is. We've been hearing for years and years about the industry, or the manufacturing industry being dingy, and you look at this and it's like that replicates our current manufacturing industry. So
Spotless.
yeah, it's a beautiful facility, absolutely. This is probably the most used space in the Career Center the most days of the year, because with JAMA being a community partner that uses our facility in the evenings, their nighttime classes for their apprenticeships would use this same exact space. And then likewise, the other side of the spectrum is the youth, our summer camps. We're exploring a couple different things this summer, one of which being a summer camp for our youth in grades 9 and 10 with the manufacturing side of things.
Yeah, so you're actually teaching adults too at night. Places, it's a busy place.
Yeah. I mean, you might know who that person is in the middle there,
That's Senator
Congressperson.
Peters.
That's right. So this was a cybersecurity conference that we were able to have some students go to with the instructor, and Mr. Peters was there attending, and I'm not exactly sure what he was speaking on behalf of, but you know, this is very fitting at the moment considering the circumstances we had not too long ago. So getting, again, here's another fine example of a program where you couldn't ask for a more relevant situation to cause interest, right? To get students interested and to pursue a path. And especially with the computer IT type fields, if you have the skill set, that doesn't necessarily mean a degree. It's maybe a certification through Cisco or through Adobe. I mean, there's a lot of different avenues for kids to get a job entry level or build upon that just with getting some credentials.
Yeah, U of M Health Systems just had their computers cyber attacked by the Russians. So it's happened, and not just ISD, it's happened
Oh,
to
yeah.
dozens and dozens of organizations right here in Jackson County.
So this is one of our construction site houses. Our second year construction students get to go out on site and take all those skills they learned in the classroom and build houses. We actually have 2 houses that are being constructed right now in the 340 Farms subdivision. And this house, I think that my entire house could fit in one corner of that basement. I mean, the house is massive, but the kids do everything. And actually, we've got our math consultant in that picture there too, so it must have been a math day. And you know, they build everything from ground up. And it's such a cool experience to watch these things come together. It
We
looks a lot
actually-
different than that now.
Yeah, I lived in a Career Center house. We bought a Career Center house right after it was finished, and it was awesome. It's amazing. And that really is, there's a good example. We all know we need houses built in Jackson, and there are openings, there's jobs right out of high school. People can
Yep.
get hired.
Yep.
That's a great thing for a resume. It's like, I built this house.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
absolutely. This is our cosmetology program. And our cosmetology program is a 2-year program. So students enroll as a junior and they spend their typical morning at Career Center in their first year, and then their second year they actually attend from 11 until 6 because cosmetology requires so many hours in order to get their licensing. So our cosmetology program is always very popular, and their salon is open right now to the public, and you can call the salon and get appointments for hair, nails, manicures, pedicures, facials.
I've talked over the years to a lot of the cosmetology students, and quite a few of them, they are learning this as a trade, as a skill to have in their back pocket for something, maybe a part-time job or to have a second option after high school. And what great forward thinking on behalf of the students to try to get two professions training done while they're still in high school.
Yeah, I absolutely agree with that because the one thing about the cosmetology program with the state license, if you were to go to a private school to get that same license, I mean, you're talking about thousands of dollars, whereas this is really just the student's time during high school to get that same thing. So it's very exciting for those students that do end up getting their cosmetology license.
So you got 10th graders coming in starting tomorrow. I think you get a hold of middle school students at some point earlier in the year. And now the whole community you want to come out and check out on your career night open house. Who specifically do you want to attract for this particular event?
From a student standpoint, really it's students up to 11th grade, right? The current seniors are going to be graduating and going on to their next phase of your life. But it's really grades up to that 11th grade. And it's, as it says, it's an open house. We want the community to come in and experience what we get to do every day, what we get to experience every day. So having the classrooms open, the teachers and the instructional assistants around to hear what's going on, the latest and greatest. We'll have the counselors from the local high schools out, so if students want to enroll that night, we can get that process started. So it's really a great experience for the community, and that's why we want to show
ice
up.
cream?
To be determined.
Cookies. There might be cookies.
Yeah.
I would
tuned.
say too, to piggyback on that, Dan mentioned our community partnerships, and we have a lot of wonderful community partnerships. I would encourage any of those community partners or people who don't have a current relationship with us. If you're a business and you want to know more about the Career Center, come out to the open house. Introduce yourself to us. Let us show you the programs. Let us show you all the great things that we have to offer here. We'd love to have more industry, more businesses see what we do.
Yeah, it's really cool. The instructors at the Career Center, for the most part, they are the professionals, and they're teaching their skills and their art and trade to the kids. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, one of the must-have items is 4,000 hours of industry experience. So every one of our instructors has at least 2 years of background in that industry.
Now, the kids have to make these decisions when they're just kids, and I wonder if you start a program, let's say cosmetology, and you're 2 or 3 months into it, and you decide, I guess really I don't know if I want to do this. Can the student change programs midstream?
They would have to wait till the end of that year to come back that second year to something different. We don't have a way or a mechanism right now for them to just stop halfway through, start something else halfway through. So we really want them to experience the full year before they make that decision on whether or not they're going to return or not.
So they can, but at some point there is an option where it's like, all right, I tried it for a year, it's not me.
And that is a huge success. I mean, a phrase that I'll say often and other people will say too is try it before you buy it, because instead of going to college and racking up a whole bunch of debt for something you think you want to do, try it safely in a safe environment during 11th or 12th grade to really determine if that's what you want to do.
Did you know what you wanted to do when you were in high school?
I was going to be a mechanical engineer.
Really?
Let's see how that panned out.
Huh.
It was my brother who became the mechanical engineer. So,
Lauren, did you know you wanted to be in education?
I didn't. I think I fought going into education, actually. I didn't want to.
Well, your mom was an educator, so I think
Right.
that was, was
Yeah.
maybe,
So I went the other way for a minute, but I came back.
and even like in middle school, even elementary school, the conversation is starting about, you got to think about your career. And I think about my high school years, nobody talked about it. We had nobody had a clue, a plan, or an idea.
Yeah.
I know, it's amazing.
Yep.
All right, so if anybody needs more information, you can check out their website, come to the career night, and great to see you both. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Career and Technical Education Month starts tomorrow from the Jackson Area Career Center, Principal Dan Draper and Assistant Principal Lauren Kaiser. Got a lot more on